Welcome back to the 1009 podcast. We got the whole house with you again. Me, Jacob, Grayson, and Seth. We're already hot in college football in the pre-show, so we're just going to go ahead and get right into it. College pundits are stupid. How about that?
Yeah, Joel Klatt is an idiot, and I wish I could be paid to just talk out of my ass like he does.
See, here's where I'll be the contrarian. I agree with him. We wouldn't beat those teams. We would not beat those teams. We don't look like we would beat those teams. We don't play like we would beat those teams. We don't have the quarterback to beat those teams. We don't have anything other than a strong front seven to beat those teams.
A strong front seven that has underperformed, in my opinion.
BC, we just get 14 points. What are you talking about?
We had
BC,
one of
that's
the
four
best running
first-round
backs to
picks at
50
least.
yards.
They are uber talented, but they can't. I mean, they get held every play. I think that is honestly the biggest.
KJ Henry was getting assaulted.
Is that the sole
KJ
reason
Henry's
why they
playing
have
like a first
underperformed?
rounder. If KJ
I
Henry was
really-
3 years younger and slightly less pudgy, he's probably a first rounder.
If he's like Xavier, built like Xavier.
Yeah. Well,
No. Hey.
Xavier's a little short. But yeah, BZ, go ahead to explain yourself. How have they underperformed?
I don't.
Hang on, just before we get into this, let's go through the amount of points that our defense has given up.
We had 9 tackles for loss this weekend, 5 sacks.
We had what, like 50?
All right.
Something
So
given
10
up in
to
one
Georgia
game?
Tech, 12 to Furman, 20
Okay.
to Louisiana Tech,
Not great.
45 to Wake Forest, but they played
Bad.
out
That's
of
a
their
good
mind,
offense.
and it was in double overtime. So let's say, I think it was like 38 or something in regular.
Yeah.
That's an anomaly. 20 to NC State, but like not really. It was like 13.
It was
you know.
13 that mattered. Yeah.
3 to Boston College, 28 to Florida State.
Half of
That's
that was
not
very
good.
late.
It was a late score, but it shouldn't have been that close. And then 14 to Syracuse. The other 7 came from a pick 6 or a fumble 6.
See,
Yeah.
and the majority of the Wake Forest ones was on the very, very, very thin, very terrible secondary.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Because they literally threw the ball over the top of us.
They went at Wiggins for 3 hours, and I
But-
think they
but-
gave up
but-
400 yards.
But this also that disproves Beasy. Like the reason that we gave up 38 points that game in regulation wasn't because of the front 7.
No,
Yeah.
it wasn't.
No.
Because Nate Wiggins decided not to learn how to backpedal. Like he just forgot.
Until last play of the game. thank
Let
God.
me clarify. When I say
Okay.
underperformed, in my opinion, they are like they should not allow anybody to do anything. My expectations for them were extremely high, and they have underperformed.
Your expectations
So
was the
0
second half
points
of
is what you're
Syracuse.
saying.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
like the fact that we're giving in the 20s every game, that is below my expectation. For how
Every
good-
game.
They gave
Every
us
Like twice
game.
though, BZ.
They
It's
gave
been
us
It's been-
14 points.
It's been 4 times. And one of them NC State was not really. And then the other one was Louisiana Tech. That was just a weird game.
that they underperformed in that game. They did.
Yeah.
Georgia
That
Tech,
was a bad
Furman, Boston College suck, and then we have freaking who's
Boston
supposed-
College has a first round receiver that we held
Yeah.
to like 40 yards, maybe.
Well, I guess that helps if he's the only person we had to defend on their offense.
Easy. I don't
Jurkovich too,
understand.
but
I don't understand where the hate comes from. Miles Murphy has 5.5 sacks.
I don't.
Tyler
they're under-
Davis has 4 sacks. KJ
Really?
Henry has.
I guess I was just thinking that we could be doing better, but I honestly
You-
think we don't
so
get
you-
any
but what-
holding calls on us, or we don't get holding calls ever, like
Well, yeah.
holding every single play. We should be doing better if not for crappy officiating. Because
So
Syracuse
it's
was
not
the
that
first
secondary
game.
was the
So
issue.
basically what you're saying is they're not underperforming. They're just
They're underperforming, but not to their fault.
This
Jacob,
this has
Jacob,
gone.
This is all time,
This is
BZ.
weird.
Jacob,
I don't
what
know
was that
where
message you
they-
sent during the game about Beasy?
Oh yeah, this is it.
I'm
This is
reactionary.
exactly. This is BZ being a lot like an illogical but like logical fan. Like this is what goes on in their head. They're like they've underperformed, but like when you look at the stats, not really. But they haven't performed to like my expectations.
They
But
haven't
like
performed to my
they have. But then there's a somebody else's fault of the officiating, and but we've had some injuries, and it's just
that is very true. We haven't had very many games where we've been completely healthy.
I would say 0 up to this point. I would say 0 games where everyone's been 100%.
Well, nobody's gonna be 100% 8 games in, but like
Not with Clemson sports.
Syracuse, whose fault is that?
Nobody in here.
Not but yeah, that's true. Syracuse, I think, is the closest we've come, though, right?
To
Yeah, I mean, like I'm pretty sure Brian Brzee got off like dialysis like 3 days ago, or whatever happened with his kidney.
Yeah.
I don't think you're on dialysis yet, but
No, no.
Yeah,
I hope not.
it takes a long time to get to that point.
And then,
But yeah, honestly, just please call more holding calls, refs. That's all I ask, because Syracuse was the first game I've actually seen it happen, and it happened consistently.
Oh, it's been all season.
I know, like Wake Forest, I couldn't get over that freaking slow mesh every single play holding, and we should have blown up so many plays. I mean, literally, it's ridiculous. They are limiting our defense, our front seven's capabilities because they're not calling anything.
I love this.
I love this so much.
They're not. They are. And y'all agree. I mean,
BZ, okay, all right, whatever.
I see holding everything.
Officiating. I hate talking about officiating. It's the worst.
We shouldn't need that ever.
Yeah. It's the worst
We
excuse.
haven't really,
BZ.
except for this last game. But
It didn't hurt Saturday.
1 through 10. Where would you put us in the top 10?
1 through 10, 5.
You spent 5 minutes before we got on here.
Disrespect.
What'd you say?
Where's the disrespect then? If you would have us 5, we are 5th.
I know I didn't say we're being disrespected. When did I say that? Pre-game?
That with the officiating, I mean, you're getting there.
No, like we should have like 50 sacks on the year by now, but holding. So
50?
Easy. If we had 50 sacks in the year,
50?
we would have somebody in New York on defense.
Exactly. We got Miles Murphy. He's that caliber, Not really.
Is he?
I don't think so. I think X fully healthy could be.
Nah, I just also disagree.
I mean,
Xavier Thomas is weird, huh?
I don't think there's anybody on the defense that would be Heisman worthy.
No.
I mean, because you look at what Will Anderson's done, and next to nothing, and he was pretty much guaranteed a Heisman spot.
Wait. What was you said? Will Anderson has done next to nothing?
Well, like not next to nothing. He's just not had. He's talk about underperforming for the season. He has not performed up to his expectations and Heisman predictions.
He was put in New York in August, and he's largely narrative-wise at least played his way out of it quickly.
I don't think
zero chance he's going to New York now. Absolutely.
I don't think he's going to go to New York, but I don't think he's had that bad of a season. The last I checked,
fault than his.
Oh, he has 6 sacks. Never mind. I'll shut my mouth.
Yeah, and I think he's leading the nation in pressures.
But see, it's like
that. His 17.5 last year.
Yeah, it's the expectation. He is having a good year, but he's not meeting that expectation. That's what I'm saying about our front seven too. But I really don't think it's fully their fault.
It's a season that's not considered the Heisman that he was supposedly given.
It's a good season, but not like historic.
2.5 sacks against Vanderbilt, none against Tennessee.
He did that last year, though. He had like 6.
I mean, I know. I'm just saying. That doesn't help. The Tennessee game was their much-watched game.
Agreed.
And he had a solo tackle and 2 assists. And
right.
That is only box
He's
score.
Currently
I mean, like last year he had 4 sacks against Mississippi State. Like that's kind of
right. And he had another one
this year, though.
One this year. Yeah.
It's definitely not. The next to nothing part was wrong. It's
correct.
Underwhelming considering
Bailey,
his number
like me,
one
man.
projections.
You sound like me.
Hey,
I didn't check stats. I corrected myself.
He did. When new evidence came to light, he changed his opinion.
Hey man, I just took a stand on mine. So
It was
Hey,
the wrong
sometimes you're wrong. You
stance.
got to admit it.
Yeah. It was the
I
wrong
agree.
stance.
I agree. Well, we were talking about pundits to start, and you asked me
Have
where
we
I
gotten
would
into that?
rank us.
That we should move there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
let's
ahead,
move
Pete.
there.
Well, one, pundits, Brandon Walker said TCU is not a top 20 team.
Yes.
That's harsh.
That is
Said
tough.
yes.
That's tough. And okay, all right. So we all listened to the William Qualkenbush thing, or like a brief snippet of it. I listened to 7 seconds. I got the gist. In a way, he's right. Okay, I will agree with him. In a way, he's right. TCU is definitely like a top 10 team. They've played like it. They've beat the teams. You know, the only problem is they had a close game with Kansas, and Kansas has done Kansas things since. But it's not like. You give the benefit of the doubt to these brands because of the program they've made. You give the benefit of the doubt to Clemson. Should Clemson be 5th and ahead of TCU based off of eye test alone? No. I would say they haven't. Like, TCU's look really good. But you give the benefit of the doubt based off of the coaching staff, the players that have been there, the culture, all that stuff. You know, that's why Tennessee has to beat Alabama to become number 3 instead of like us looking at last year in this offense that all came back and like putting them in the top 10. You know, like stuff like that does matter.
You have to earn that respect.
Yeah,
teams like TCU and Tennessee haven't, and we have. And that's reflected.
Right. Yeah, and that's to be expected. So I don't think like and I also don't blame all these national media for like, do I really blame? I mean, I guess if you have like a large college football show about college football and you don't watch TCU, like I guess I can kind of blame you. Okay.
Yeah.
But like the average fan, if they're like, oh yeah, TCU, like they're a solid team, but they're not like playoff contention, like I'll give them a pass.
The only thing with TCU, like, which I agree with them, is what they're saying is that they haven't beaten like a full quarterback staff team. Like
they've run into some QB injuries. Yeah.
They have,
because they beat Kansas without Daniels. They beat who they played this week.
I think they crushed Oklahoma with their quarterback out.
Yeah. It was out of hand when that happened, but
it was.
Yeah.
Adrian Martinez was hurt, and then their second string quarterback got hurt, and third string came in and then switched back and forth. So
and then the game
downfall to what?
Yeah, I mean, I guess too. And then the game against Oklahoma State, they won in double overtime. Like they won, but the quarterback for Oklahoma State did play, but I think he was also
Sanders
injured.
was not 100%.
Yeah, like I don't.
He wasn't 100% this Saturday, and
Right.
he went up and down the field on Texas. So I don't know what
he
you
almost
think
had
about
400 passing yards.
that. Yeah.
Right. So I mean, I get it, but you can only play the teams you play, right?
That's what the argument was to that statement.
Which is why we have 3 ranked wins, which is more than
play.
anybody else in the country.
Well, no, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
TCU has more, but yeah, TCU has 4.
Currently ranked?
Yes. Oh, I don't know currently.
No.
I mean,
I'm going off currently ranked.
Oklahoma's not ranked. Kansas isn't ranked. Is Kansas State still ranked?
Yeah.
Yeah, 24 maybe.
24. That seems right.
No, LSU's 24.
Kansas State.
No, they're 22.
Yeah.
Okay.
NC State's 24, so that's barely.
Oklahoma State is good though. Like that's a good win.
Yeah, I agree.
They have one
but like
good
we said,
win.
the
A good
quarterback
win.
was hurt. The quarterback was hurt.
Okay.
But it's kind of the same thing with Syracuse. Like they beat NC State when their quarterback was hurt. That didn't play. Like,
Right,
not
absolutely.
hurt,
He didn't play at all. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, he was out the entire time. Yeah.
But
they still handled him, which just like
they
TCU
handled
you
them
have to do.
very easily. Yeah.
Yeah, TCU literally has nobody else on their
Syracuse has a good defense. That is getting like a good. They have a terrible rushing defense, but their passing defense is phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, I think TCU is going to lose to Texas. Like I'll say it. Like I think they're going to lose. To
Really?
Texas.
Yeah.
Why?
I think
They might lose 2 or
at
3
Texas.
games.
I think they could lose at Baylor very easily. If everyone's healthy, they could lose at Baylor.
Yeah.
Well, what
There's
if
a
they
third
beat
one
all
in
of
there
these?
too. That's losing.
What if they win all of these?
And they're undefeated.
They do.
Then they're in.
Yeah, they're in.
Then yeah.
Yeah,
It's just
they're in
that
the
I
playoffs.
don't
So-
think it's gonna happen.
So like
That's the thing.
when you have
It's going to get pure chaos.
Yeah,
But we say this
Bama-
every year. We say this
Yeah.
every year about 6 or 7 games in.
Yeah.
And it always works itself out.
That's
The Big
what
Ten
it
teams
is.
lose at Purdue, and these Big
At
12
Iowa
teams
State.
fall off. and
Iowa
then-
State.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Tennessee, they've got
The
Georgia.
Pac-12 will figure itself out too.
I mean, what's going to be interesting in the SEC? Oh, wait, no, never mind. Ole Miss just lost. Never mind.
No, I mean it's still up
Ole
for
Miss.
grabs.
SEC
Ole Miss is a team
still
that
very
should be-
interesting.
The SEC West still has 3 teams capable. I mean,
No, I mean,
Ole Miss needs help.
Mathematically
If
speaking.
LSU beats Alabama, they're in.
come on.
If LSU beats Alabama, they're in.
Come on.
They're in the
In
SEC
Atlanta.
championship.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're not going
Yeah,
past
no,
Atlanta.
God,
They're not going to beat Bama.
No, because I mean they only have one loss in the
I
conference.
mean, Haynes King about
conference.
did it. So I mean,
Bryce Young was hurt, was he not?
I don't care. Yeah, he didn't play. That's fine.
Oh crap!
And they got a pass for a backup QB in a close win in a week.
They did. I mean, technically, we just won with a backup quarterback
That's what I'm
in
saying.
a close
Man,
win.
I don't know if
Horrible.
I don't know if you
They're
consider him a quarterback in that game.
They're bad.
No, he definitely just handed the ball off. We'll get into that later. Yeah, I don't know, man.
I
There's
do
a lot
think
of conferences that are still up in the air because Big Ten, Penn State has one loss. I mean, technically they can still get it if they beat.
I mean,
Ohio
we
State,
basically
Michigan
just locked
loses.
down the ACC.
Yeah, we pretty much knocked on wood. Big 12 is there's still about 3 or 4 teams that can win it. SEC, you got the East, you got Georgia, you got Tennessee in the West. You got
And
the 3
that's it,
teams,
yeah.
which technically speaking, like I said, Ole Miss can still somehow pull it out.
who are the
Not gonna
three from
happen.
West? Bama?
LSU, Alabama, Ole Miss. They all have
So
one
you
loss.
think
Or-
LSU is going to go? LSU's got 2 losses.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Well, they have one loss in the conference. The other loss is
Right,
Florida
it
State.
was
So
Florida
that's
You're
State,
talking
null.
about to the
Tennessee.
SEC championship.
Yeah,
We're not talking
LSU
about
is
they're not
not
going to
making
the
it to the playoffs.
Okay.
If they win the SEC, then they'll no.
They're not winning
Big-
the SEC.
Big Ten, you got the top 3 in the East with Ohio State, Michigan still have to play. Michigan could possibly not really slip up against Michigan State this weekend, and if they lose to Ohio State and Penn State beats Ohio State, Penn State's in. Like they're still like Pac-12 is God knows what because there's like 4
I don't
teams
know
with
what to make
one
of
loss
that.
or undefeated.
Yeah.
So I plan on doing a blog on this. I just got to mathematically write this all out, but like there's no outside of the ACC and there's really no clear-cut favorite. I mean, there might be clear-cut favorites, but nothing's set in stone pretty much.
Hey man,
Yeah.
we still got to get through Carolina.
Well, that's another thing on
That's
they're saying-
unrelated to the ACC though. At
Yeah,
least.
Casey
we're not-
Smith
we're-
was saying that we might lose to South Carolina. They might be the worst 5-2
That's-
team out there.
That's fine. I heard it for 6 months last year, and we went to their place. We won 30-0, and they looked horrible. So,
Yeah.
if they want to come into Clemson and they want to think that, then they're welcome to ask Syracuse how that went. I don't care what the score is at halftime. I don't care what it is. We're going to be seeing Shane Beamer's hands up when they score a touchdown to make it 42-7. I just don't care. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not going to entertain that at all. I'm not. They beat Haynes King at home. I don't care. I think there's 4 Sun Belt teams that could beat Texas A&M by 2
Their first
touchdowns,
17
and it's already happened
their
once.
first-
So
Their first 17 points in the game came off a kick return for a touchdown, a near pick 6 where they had a ball at the 5, ran 4 plays for no yards, and had to kick a field goal. Then they got a fumble off a snap and ran 4 plays for 19 yards and scored. Other than that, the offense didn't do anything until the second half. Like,
yeah, I mean it's
we had a 17-point head start essentially.
right,
yeah.
and they're
and
ranked.
that's what you.
I think that's fine. They can hang a very nice
Yeah.
banner for that. I don't care. I just don't. I don't buy any of it.
First time they've won 4 games in 9 years. 4 games in a row in 9 years.
Oh,
That I believe.
Yeah.
I thought you meant total, and I almost believe that. So I just don't care. That's
mean-
fine.
Yeah.
I will worry about that in a month.
Hey, they could beat Tennessee. I'm pulling for them.
I hope they do. I hope they're
Yes.
number 10 when they come play us, and we just beat the hell out of them again. I hope they don't lose a game until we see them. I really don't.
That would be sick.
It makes it that much better when we embarrass them for what is it, with 8th, 9th year in a row now? I can't. We're running out of fingers for this.
damn it! I was about to say that.
Like we're gonna be 15 bombing them maybe. I mean, get toes up in these pictures. Like I don't care. They're not good. Rattler's not good. A&M sucks.
Rattler's having a last year DJ year. He has like 5 touchdowns and 8 interceptions.
Yeah, he's doing awful.
right. It's
Simply put.
and he's.
Well,
I don't know what it is. He's better than that. I don't understand what's
It's
going on.
a lot of it's the play calling. Their offensive coordinator is terrible. That's what I'm hearing it all from my family. They hate the offensive coordinator.
I'm
yeah.
not familiar. I mean, I should be, but I'm not.
I mean, they got to get Marshawn Lloyd, their running back. He's good. He's a stud.
Right, and they've had talent running back before. I mean, it's just and they could very well be on their way to challenging in the SEC East, but it's not going to happen this year. And I mean, as far as beating us, good luck. Like I said, this time last year, it was going to happen in Columbia, and they didn't score a point. So, forgive me for not being scared of that yet. And we've got way more important games in front of that anyway. So, I mean,
Man, I really do hope LSU kind of just causes controversy in the West, though. That would be amazing to see them.
they very well could. I mean, they really
They're
could.
good.
Is that game at Bama or LSU?
I'm not sure.
I'm checking.
Bailey's got
It's
it.
at LSU. Wow.
Okay. I
Probably
mean, we
that
just
quick.
saw Ole Miss was never a top 10 team. They're not even
No.
top
No.
15.
No.
That is a product of not losing, which, I mean, that's how the AP poll works. You move up if you win, but I
Yeah.
don't think the merit of the wins was any part of that at all. And
Do you
See,
think-
once the playoff rankings come out, a lot of this is going to get figured out too, because
Right, that's
the
2
computers
weeks
are going
out,
to work
maybe?
more toward.
Do you think Syracuse was deserving of where they were?
I think
this
so.
past weekend?
Dropping
Yeah.
2 is okay. I'm okay with that.
I mean, because who have they
Yeah.
beat? They beat NC State, like y'all said, with an injured quarterback.
Without Leary, which is unfortunate because that would have been a much better game. But, I
I
mean,
mean,
Purdue.
they handled business, though. I mean, the Purdue game was insane. They could have
Yeah.
That was the coin flip of all coin flips, the way that game unfolded late.
they
but,
barely beat a bad Virginia, barely beat a bad Purdue.
Right.
I mean, we barely beat them.
It's
but
just like Ole Miss, though. They hadn't lost yet, and
Yeah.
this
Well,
late
if
in the
you-
year, if you're
yeah,
undefeated,
alright.
you're going to be ranked.
So I know we probably wanted Jacob here, but I mean, since we're talking about it, I mean, if take away like 2 turnovers and it's a different ball game completely. If DJ holds on
Right.
to that ball at the 1, it's not 14 or 14-7 or whatever it was. So
we dominated on the stat line. Apart from turnovers, we dominated.
Right, and we were
and this was this was his first bad game of the year. Like
Mhm.
right.
Well, Georgia Tech, but
Well, we could afford it a
there's
lot
lot
more
of
against
drop
Georgia
balls.
Tech.
And,
That's
yeah, I mean that,
that was
just
the opener
a
too.
team.
That's fine.
Yeah, that was-
But I mean, his stats through Florida State, NC State, Wake Forest, that's out of order. But compared last year to this year, is night and day, and that's the reason we won those 3 games. So I think if he's going to lay an egg like that, fine. We got it out of the way. I mean, we came back, won the game. Defense, second half shutout, I believe. I mean, it's just
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the fact that we won with 4 turnovers.
we're the
with a
first team in the
backup
FBS
quarterback.
this year. I
Really?
think coming in, FBS teams were 0-17 minus 4 in turnovers, and now they're at least 1 win. I don't know if anybody else was minus 4 Saturday, but we were the first team to win with that. Which, I mean, you could say we didn't deserve to win. That's whatever. I don't care.
No,
I mean, talking about being beatable, Georgia was losing for 54 minutes to Mizzou,
Yeah.
who is horrible. They were in
and
a
that's just
race to
skip-
20 with Vanderbilt Saturday.
Everybody skipped over that like nothing. But
Right, because they get 3 mulligans a year, and they need 2, is whatever. I mean, Ohio State was down at halftime to Notre Dame, who might be the worst team in their schedule. It was 10-7 Irish at halftime in that opener. Tennessee got taken to OT by Nick Patty of Pittsburgh, who could walk down the center of that campus, and no one would even look up. Bama beat Haynes King 24-20. I don't care who the hell is the quarterback. He's better
So
than
my
Haynes
boys.
King. So, I mean, every team ahead of us, even Michigan, I mean, Maryland almost beat them. So every team ahead of us has had a scare like we did.
Talking about
We get
Michigan.
penalized for it the most. Talking about
Yeah, it's because we've had more than one.
this was the biggest one though.
is the Wake Forest one
Forest
a
now?
scare if they're a top 10 team?
We didn't play down to Wake Forest though. That was just a genuine good game.
Yeah,
Wake
I mean, I
Forest
see
is
what
a
you're saying.
good-
Like
they're
I was
a
saying,
decent
Georgia,
team.
Mizzou, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Tennessee, Pitt, Bama, A&M, Michigan, Maryland. They played down to teams and easily could have lost those games.
Yeah, I mean, the difference is Georgia won it
The
last
difference
year.
is DJ's our quarterback. And
Yes, the reason is
Yeah,
Georgia
we're
won it
judged on
last year.
Yeah.
They have the whole brand. Ohio State has a better quarterback. They have they have the name brand quarterback. Tennessee has the name brand wind, also a better quarterback. And Michigan has they've blown
playoff
out
from last year.
They've also blown out
Yeah.
Penn State, who, regardless of what you think of Penn State, their quarterback's worse than ours somehow. Penn State still was like 10th whenever they played it
Right.
on prime time.
And we'll find out Saturday when they host Ohio State if they're worth literally anything this year
Right,
in the national
right.
conversation.
Yep.
So it's-
Yes.
Yeah.
By the way, Ohio State won by 11 against Notre Dame, who
Oh,
lost
yeah, that's what I said. That
Stanford
was
and-
their game. Yeah.
Stanford.
The
and
worst game
Marshall.
on their schedule. They were down 10-7 at halftime, and they won 21-10, I want to say.
21-10. Yeah.
So,
I mean, Ohio State has not played a team with a pulse since then.
but they're winning the eye test by a mile is the other thing.
Yeah, I mean, they're dominating everybody, but they
They should be one right now. I really think they should be one right now.
I think they should be one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
should.
I think they should be one too. Yeah, but Grayson's right. They passed the eye test, which in the grand scheme of Twitter, that's all that matters.
Huge.
It doesn't matter how many ranked wins you have, top 20, top 15, top 5. Do you blow the bad teams out by 60?
Right.
That's
You
all that matters.
cover.
They will give you a pass if you barely beat teams, like good teams. If you barely beat the 11th ranked team, they will give you a pass. But do you blow out the terrible teams? And we haven't, regardless of what the score indicates against Furman or Louisiana Tech. We haven't. Georgia Tech haven't. Boston College didn't. Like the score is less than indicative of how the game was.
But that's the thing. Outside of the Wake Forest game, we're not a high-powered offense. We're not going to sling the ball all over the field.
I know, but I'm saying that's what gets the votes. Like that's what makes you go from 6 to 2.
Well,
Is
and a
can't
lot
you
of
score
people
50 on anyone.
from this past weekend, a lot of people see the name Syracuse and they're like automatically they think, oh, terrible football team. What are they? Probably 2-4 right now coming into Clemson. They don't look at the numbers and look at like what they've done this season. Granted, not the greatest of teams, but I mean 6-0, 6-0. It speaks for itself.
I mean, Syracuse isn't a top 10 team this year. You know, they're knocking on the door. I mean, they're a solid top 25 team this year. I think they got a tough run coming up. They're halfway through it. I think they're a top 25 team.
They got Notre Dame, Pitt, FSU, then Wake and BC.
That's what I'm saying. Like FSU, Boston College, if they slip up, but it's still, I think 9-3 is on the table. If you're 9-3 with the schedule that they had, you're ranked
easily.
Team. You're ranked
easily.
team.
Oh yeah.
So
it's not like they pulled an Ole Miss and they get their first huge test and they lose by, what was it, 1 billion points?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ole Miss was up 17-3 and they lost 45-20. And it wasn't that close. It really wasn't. So I'll give them credit for at least hanging in. They had a 20 or 11-point lead when Klubnik came in. So, I mean, it's
teams like Ole Miss is where Jacob is saying things are going to figure itself out. Like, boom, there's that loss. Kentucky, bam, figure that out.
Yeah, done.
I think TCU is next, as electric as that offense is.
I would also tend to agree that TCU is next. Yeah.
We saw Kansas done. Like,
yeah, I mean, if we figure it out, I think, Georgia, Tennessee, both, that's going to figure itself out. Number 1 and number 3, it's going to figure itself out.
Tennessee plays Kentucky this week, which I realize is nowhere close to Georgia, but talking about an all-time look-ahead spot.
Yeah.
That's
is
there.
Will Levis playing?
Yeah, Will Levis is playing.
He's good and their running back's good. Like, but
they're not going to beat Tennessee.
They're not going to.
No, that would be stunning. That would be. Yeah.
I mean, unless, like Grayson said, it's an all-time look-ahead game, and like Tennessee forgets that they're having to actually play a game this week.
I don't think Kentucky can run enough and shorten that game enough to pull that off outright. I don't know what the spread is.
And remember, the thing we always forget is like, is that what am I trying to say?
The stunning upsets really haven't happened yet. That's a big part of it getting figured out.
Oh yeah, what I was saying is like, remember we have conference championship game. How many times in the past 5 years have like Oregon losing to Utah, Florida losing to
Oklahoma State last year?
The only thing with the conference championships is the SEC where one team loses, but they still both get in. That's the only thing where
which is possible, but not in a year like this, at least where we're headed. It's just not going to happen.
Because, I mean, if Alabama makes it, that gives them 2 losses, and they're donezo.
Right.
Remember, there's only 6 teams left that are undefeated, and 2 of them play each other.
Mm-hmm.
If there's at the end of the year, there's an
undefeated. Play each other.
Yeah. Ohio State,
Michigan, Ohio State, week 12.
Oh, okay, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're undefeated at the end of this year, you're gonna make the playoffs. You just don't.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Even if you're TCU.
I don't care what conference
Even if you're
you're
TCU.
in. You make the playoffs.
Because that is deserved. Like
at most, there can be 1, 2, 3. There can be 4 undefeated teams at most as of right now.
And those 4 are probably going to be the conference champions.
Correct.
Of the Big 4.
They'd have to be, yeah.
So if you're undefeated this year, you're in. It'll all work itself out.
There's no way in hell we get 4 undefeated teams though.
No chance. I don't even want to.
I mean, we could get 3. We could definitely.
November is where that scenario goes to die every single year. Every year.
You would have to be 3. Oh my God, that's going to be fugly top 4 if it's like Ohio State, Tennessee, Clemson, TCU.
Hey, I love that.
That
That
is
is awesome.
I mean, it could have been Clemson, UCLA, TCU, SEC champ. I mean,
Yeah.
it could be worse.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. The playoffs going to be SEC champion, Big Ten champion, Clemson if they're undefeated, and then
the best between Pac-12 and Big 12.
Big 12 champion. That's it.
USC, Oregon, TCU, Oklahoma State.
So you don't think 2 SEC teams are going to go in this year?
Not if the
Really?
Big Ten. Not if the Pac-12 has one loss, the Big Ten has one loss. Or sorry, the Big Ten's undefeated, the ACC's undefeated, the Pac and the Big 12's undefeated. There's no way they would let in a.
Okay, if the Big 12 team is undefeated.
If TCU slips up, they're done. Like if they lose one game.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody outside of the SEC has one, SEC or Big Ten has one loss, you're out.
Now the
Oklahoma
interesting
State and TCU play again.
Okay, so
and
there
that
you
might
go.
be a situation like last year with Baylor and Oklahoma State.
Yeah, but here's the thing: what's going to be interesting is if Bama beats Georgia/Tennessee.
That's what
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. That's when they're. I mean,
12-1
If-
SEC
but
champion.
But then BC,
Pass.
no one's undefeated. Then there's no
Right.
undefeated SEC. Then I think you just take the champion, and you kind of got to see what else plays out across the country. Like I'm saying, we are like so worried about the eye test or whatever. If Clemson goes undefeated in a college football season, they're in the playoff. It doesn't matter if we win
Yeah.
every game by 2, okay, and
Yeah.
go to 7 overtimes. We're in the playoff.
We're-
Track record, name recognition, brand. We're in the playoff.
We
That's
lost
true
to
for
Pitt
any
one
Power
year and
5
still
conference
made it.
too. Right, exactly.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, if you go undefeated and win your conference, you are in.
We
the playoff.
lost to Syracuse one year and we still made the playoffs.
17,
lost
yeah.
to Pitt one year and
Nathan Peterman beat us in Death Valley, and we won the championship that year.
notable
It's-
Bills legend Nathan Peters.
James Conner helped, but yeah, Nathan Peterman
Conner
was the
did help.
quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, we struggled with Syracuse in 18, and we beat the best team in the history of college football by 28 points, and it could have been 35.
Syracuse in 2018.
Yeah,
Chase
we
Bryce.
won by 4. That was the Chase
Oh,
Bryce
yeah.
coming in
yes.
for Trevor.
Yeah.
So, talking about precedent, we had Chase Bryce knee the ball at the 8 because we felt like it.
Just-
It was 44-16.
Go undefeated in your end. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right, which is
Dude,
it doesn't happen. It's so hard
let's
to do.
let's be honest. There's a chance Anthony Richardson plays out of his mind and beats Georgia this week. I don't think it's a big
absolutely.
one, but there is based off how Georgia's played, that is a realistic possibility.
He's done it once
Yeah.
already in the opener. So I mean,
right, beating Utah, who they should not have beat, who is a good team.
right, exactly.
Yeah, 'cause
Who's
there's-
Utah's second loss to? Oregon.
US
UCLA.
or one of them use.
One of them.
UCLA, I
I
think.
mean, UCLA is 6-1, so
They're out.
They're
they're out, but they're not a bad team.
They're out, Grayson. They're out.
12-1 with help, but it's not going to happen.
The Pac-12's only way
Right.
in is probably Oregon right now.
USC.
USC. Either one
You
of those teams.
think
12-1
USC
Yeah,
over
yeah.
Oregon?
Dude, I
Gonna
mean,
get in
this is
there.
what I'm saying.
The way
Like-
Oregon's playing right now?
The speculation like this is so much fun,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're a month
No.
from now.
No.
I'm going to make
We're-
a note
like-
to come back to this in a month, and we're going to laugh at this.
Yeah, be like, oh,
I
how
said this-
stupid are we that
We're going to be
you
like,
know-
who the hell do we drag in as the 4th team? Like,
Right. I
Everyone's
I said
Yes.
this when you were gone, Jacob.
Yeah.
Like once the playoff rankings come out, it's going to start figuring itself out because the AP voters are stupid, don't know what they're doing.
Right.
And once the computer comes into play, then
the
wait,
committee, you mean?
committee.
Right.
I'm still in BCS. Which
Agreed.
bring it back.
Bring it back.
Wow.
I'm still for it. I'm still for bringing back
Been the
BCS.
same playoff 8 years. There's no point.
I think
That's the point. It figures it
Yeah,
out.
it's
and it's
fun.
the same teams.
Yeah, and then you don't have like this arbitrary. Then you don't have like this this ambiguity over like, oh, like should we take the AD of Arkansas State out for steak so he bumps us up? No, just make it an algorithm. Everything in this freaking world's an algorithm. Make this an algorithm.
Computer simulation.
Yeah, but I mean, the Arkansas State AD is not deciding anything in that conference room. I don't care who else is in there.
I think who's the head of the committee right now?
It's
Damn,
not
I don't
unilateral anyway. I don't care if it's Toledo's AD.
Yeah, but they still vote on it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. They all vote on it.
Yes, you have a share. Bill Hancock. Who is he?
You-
What's he do?
But my
Wow, he's old.
They all are.
Oh, he was the first executive of the BCS too.
big computer guy.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know what he's done. He was the assistant commissioner of the Big 8.
That's been a minute. That's a resume gap.
That is so long ago.
The Big
Jesus.
8 conference.
Why are people like this still deciding?
Yeah, that's okay. All right, let's get into
That's tenure.
societal issues. Yeah.
Side
Tournament
note.
ageism. Bring it back.
Oh gosh.
I agree, Beezy. You're right.
Beezy and Jacob, I don't know if you guys saw where I had it written down. How many carries do you think Sean Tucker got on Saturday?
I already know.
Wait.
Beezy, how
we
many
went through this.
carries do you think he got
Sean
on Saturday?
Tucker was it
Yeah.
like
Did you see
4
the
or
tweet?
something like that?
It was 5. That's just
5?
one last note from that game, but
Yeah, but that got
that's
who
bad.
cares about his tweet? KJ buried him. So
You guys remember when
Hilarious.
Condoleezza Rice voted on the college football playoff?
Yes.
What timeline were we in? Were the
Yeah,
open
she actually
Condoleezza,
at one point?
Condoleezza Rice and Dan Radakovich were on
Yeah.
the board at the same time.
One of those is not like the other.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people on the selection committee that shouldn't be there.
So football.
It doesn't
Owns
take
hang on. Will Shields, member of the College Football Hall of Fame, whatever, but his current occupation is he owns and operates a gym.
Dan Bowler.
yeah, get Bowler on there.
I would rather die. Yeah, I think the playoff committee should just be Ben Boulware and Darion Rencher. Darian. Whoops.
Yeah.
Is that the one? Is that if Darian and DK have a child?
Yeah, I don't know. I like Darian though, and I love DK.
He was just one of those guys you can't not hate.
DK, I don't know. DK was just one of those guys that I just somehow connected with. I don't know. DK and Trayvon Mullen, my guys. Don't know how.
You really did just bond with Trayvon Mullen, didn't you?
Yeah, that's actually my guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you still talk to him?
Infrequently.
Infrequently.
Let's get him on now.
I just remember he would just randomly FaceTime me all the time.
All
just
the time. All the
just
time.
Sitting there with his headphones in. I'm like,
All the
what is this dude?
There was a
He's not-
video that popped up on my Snapchat's like memories the other day of me and him just going eating at Waffle House, and him just like playing Kodak Black's new mixtape for me. He's like, "Yo, this is unreleased." I was like, "I don't care."
He's my cousin. Do you know that?
No, not cousins with Kodak. Grew up on the same block. Cousins with Lamar Jackson. They all
Hey.
grew up on the same street though. Yeah.
He's got connections. What
Yeah.
street?
I don't know, BC. All I know is
recommended Beezy.
I FaceTime Kodak Black the night he got out of prison. Like, not like me calling him, but he called
Florence?
Trayvon. And then I was with Trayvon in his apartment. One time, one of his girlfriends from Miami came into town and bought me a whole bunch of clothes. That was real nice of her. Shout out her. Her name in my phone is Trayvon Mullen's girlfriend. I think
might need to update that.
they subsequently broke up. Yeah. Let's see. She had a couple kids. She was also 35. Trayvon said he doesn't date
I remember
young
that one.
women. Yeah, he's like, I only date women that are older because they have money and they can buy me things. Anyways, that's just a little. Yeah, that's my Trayvon's my guy. Trayvon, if you're listening to this, you're a weird. Dude.
Why are you listening to this first question?
Dude, the only reason we ever like started talking was remember that game? I went to Virginia Tech, right? I went to Virginia Tech and with a couple of my buddies, and on the way back, we were all just like hungover and ready to die. And I get added on Snapchat from Trayvon Mullen, and I was like, "What? Whatever." So I added him back, and then he swipes over and like messages me like, "Yo, Jacob, you at your house?" And I was like, "No, and you don't know where I live." He's like, "I heard you live in Lightsey." And I was like, "Yeah, why?" He's like, "All right, when you get back, hit me up. Let's go eat." And I was like, "Okay." And so then we'd always go to that. You guys ever go to that world famous cheeseburger spot in downtown Clemson?
Maybe twice.
Yeah, I don't think it's there anymore.
It's not. I think it moved to Easley, but it's
Yeah,
so
it's been
good.
gone. Yeah.
It's so good. But that's where we'd always go, and we would always get free meals. Shout out.
He was a dude. So yeah.
Interesting. Yep. Now he's a millionaire. So awesome.
An injured millionaire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I got one more story.
Go ahead.
All right. So there was a girl that I was dating, kind of dating's a loose term. And
Don't bet on it.
I was with her one night, and we were at like a party in downtown Clemson. He FaceTimes me out of the blue one day, and he's like in his house in Las Vegas. and he's like, I'm with a girl, and he was like, "Hey, baby, you want to come over, see what a real man looks like?" I was like, "Trayvon, you're in Las Vegas." And he was like, "Hey, girl, you ever seen $1 million in watches?" And I was like, "No, Trayvon, she hasn't. And who has?" And he was like, "Watch this." Just pulls out a drawer like with all these Rolexes and like whatever other watches, and I'm like, I don't think that's the most sound financial investment. He was like, "Oh yeah, well look at these chains," and just starts showing me all this jewelry and stuff. And I was like, "All right, cool, whatever." I was like, "You should really get with the financial advisor, Trayvon. This is not good for you." And he's like, "I ain't even worried about it. I'm gonna be the first corner to sign a $200 million deal." And I was like, "That is just statistically impossible." He's like, "I'm gonna do it." And then I hung up because he was annoying me.
In his defense, if any team would do that, it would be the team that drafted him, and that was the Raiders.
Correct.
So,
if there was anyone to believe that could actually happen, it's him.
yeah, that's the other part of the issue. Yeah.
Oh man, he was traded for a 7th round pick. I didn't
Oh,
realize.
he's played
To Arizona.
Yeah, he hadn't played.
Dang.
You know, who has
You
played.
said he's injured, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of. Let's see if he answers. Whatever. Anyways, we'll get him on. I'll get him on.
All right.
NFL star on the 1009 podcast. Okay. NFL player. I should clarify. But
Yeah, not a star.
That was quick, easy.
what does that
I mean, dude, he was looking promising after his rookie year.
Oh, no, he
he
definitely has
got
talent.
knocked out in
He'll
the
be
game.
fine in Arizona.
He's got to be healthy. That's all. Moving on.
Last thing on college football, Oregon blew out UCLA. I didn't see that coming, but I mean they've ripped off 6 straight wins after getting embarrassed by Georgia, and with that, them joining USC. Talking about Oregon, right now as we sit, would you put money on the Pac-12 or the Big 12 getting a team in right now? From what we know
Not
right now.
money.
Pac-12.
All right,
Yeah,
more
I
than
Over the
likely,
Big 12, really?
I go
Okay.
Pac-12.
Name brand.
brand.
I would go Pac-12
Okay.
too.
I mean,
think-
I understand that argument.
Would you rather have Oregon or TCU?
TCU's undefeated though?
Would you rather have Oregon or TCU?
No, but that's
Right,
not.
are you
that's not
banking
what
on
we're-
that though, BZ? Are
Yeah,
you
that's
banking on
not what we're-
13-0
like, how-
TCU?
We're kind of betting on like how the season plays out, like in
Right.
like
Predicting
a
from
one-loss
this point.
a one-loss USC Pac-12 champion on the road to Utah.
He's
by,
going
like,
to
3
get in.
It's gonna get over a one-loss TCU or a one.
Oh, I mean, I fully agree with that. I'm just looking at TCU's
There's
schedule.
things called views and money.
The only problem with Oregon is they got
That loss was
Whack.
bad.
murdered by Georgia.
They need Georgia to go at least 12-1.
They need Georgia to go 13-0 and
I don't
dog
know
walk
about that.
whoever in the SEC championship. Yeah, but also
Yeah.
they could be like, yeah, Bo Nix, you know.
Right.
Bo Nix,
That's
you die by
first-
Bo.
It was
But-
Dan Lanning's first game.
That was a
Right.
home game for Georgia, essentially.
Right.
As well.
Yeah, it's
So
game
Bo Nix,
one.
by the way, dark horse Heisman.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is.
Currently,
If they
Who is-
keep
who is
winning.
a front runner? I don't even know.
Stroud.
It's
Who's the
CJ.
favorite right now?
CJ Stroud. Okay.
Number 2 is probably Hendon Hooker. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Williams
it's,
probably third.
yeah, it's Williams, Blake Corum, Bryce Young. I mean, that seems right to me.
So now you can miss a game and win the Heisman. That's interesting.
You what? What
No,
Now you
Bryce
can-
Young's not even up there. Jalen Daniels.
are you talking about? Bryce Young is 5th.
Right. I'm saying you could miss a game and still be in the Heisman,
Oh, yeah.
contrary to 2020. But that's,
I was
I'm,
That's
a whole
I'm
different
looking at betmgm.com and he's not listed.
Don't look at BetMGM.
I don't even know what that is. But I
He's
have,
on the slate
have
show
not
this week.
paid attention to.
Not
do y'all look
Clemson.
at that website?
Yeah, Bo Nix, 7 games, 1,800 yards, 17 touchdowns, 3 picks, and I'm pretty sure all 3 came against Georgia.
I think you're right. At least
Yeah.
2 did. I'm confident in that.
Yeah, 2 came against Georgia. Yeah. And his other game where he threw a pick was against Washington State, and he threw for 430 yards, and
That's right.
he had 3 touchdowns.
Washington State housed that pick, I believe.
To be fair. All right, let's be fair, boys. I think we could all say we knew, like, I don't think we thought UCLA was, like, the most legit team.
Nah.
No, but I believe them more than an Ole Miss or maybe even a TCU potentially.
I don't think I believed in them more than Ole Miss. But okay, so
Oh, I
since
did.
Oregon lost to Georgia, they've beat Eastern Washington, BYU,
Which is
Who
not
Not a
looking
great
great.
win. Liberty
They just
destroyed
got
them. sadly.
smoked by
Right,
Liberty.
right. It's not
And
that
lost
good.
to Arkansas.
7-1
At the
Liberty,
time-
but still.
At the time, it was a solid win, but
Yes.
hindsight's 2020.
Yeah.
Washington State, not a good win.
No.
Stanford, not a good win. Arizona, not a good win. And then they beat UCLA. So
They've
Right,
got
but I
one
mean-
good win.
do they?
Yeah.
Oh, UCLA. Yeah.
UCLA. That's a good one.
It's
Yeah.
a good win.
But they've got so much in front of them potentially to build that resume. I think that's not going to be the issue if they're 12-1.
I mean, if they're 12-1, they're in.
Yeah,
But I don't
exactly.
think USC.
Who
But
do
what's
they
helping
play
them is how
apart from
they've
Utah?
bounced back since getting smoked by Georgia.
Who do they
That's
beat?
what's-
I mean, they play
Right.
USC.
Who was it that lost to the
they
opener
don't.
and then went on to the playoffs? Is it Ohio State?
Ohio State. They lost to
They lost to
Virginia
Virginia
Tech.
Tech. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's
They won
precedent
it that year,
there.
didn't they?
Yeah, but they lost
Yeah.
to Virginia Tech.
That's
You
a
know,
worse loss. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If their only losses to Georgia, the only problem is how they lost. But if their only losses to Georgia, they're in.
They still
Right.
have a chance.
But I
Like
think
you
Virginia
said,
Tech beat
you
them
could
by
say-
like 3 TDs. I mean, it
You
wasn't
could say first game as coach, first quarterback game, all
on the
these.
road. Yeah.
Yeah, neutral site, but it was in
Bullshit.
Atlanta.
It was in Atlanta. I don't want to hear that. No, it
Right.
wasn't.
So, yeah, there we go.
So, yeah.
And that's college football.
I mean, one last thing. Did you want to get into Quinn Ewers and his lack of performance?
I mean, I
The
didn't see
kid's
it.
What?
I just
What
saw
is
that
he?
he's
18
19.
still? Like this is.
I think-
I think
yeah.
Trevor set the bar so high for true freshmen at big time programs that. it's
Yeah,
just-
I think he just turned 19. He's technically only supposed to be a true freshman.
Right. He reclassified too. To
Yeah,
get
and every
$1 billion from Ohio
1,000,
State.
every 1,000 1.000 24/7 guy is now going to be compared to Trevor Lawrence's freshman season, which by the way has been done never.
Right.
Yeah.
15-0. Yeah.
So
Beat Nick Saban by 28.
yeah.
Yeah.
Was it only
That is just insane, man.
28? It was 28 by 4
Think about
times.
Yeah. It's 44-16. Yeah.
But it looks so
Oh,
much worse.
crap.
So yeah, Beasley
It could've
thought
been 60. Yeah.
Thoughts on
Trevor got pulled 8 minutes to go in the
Chase
third
Bryce
quarter
bled the last 12 minutes on,
on
one
that
drive,
one drive.
and
Yeah.
needed out on the 8-yard line because we
Yeah.
felt bad.
Right.
Just
I wish
enough
we'd have
time
scored.
for us to get down there.
I wanted the 50 burger. I did. I was
Yeah, that's
so
why
damn tired of
everyone up here
Alabama.
was like, "Oh, it was the most, it was the most
best
that
drive.
Alabama's ever led up." I was like, "Guys, we scored 44 on them in the national championship game in 3 quarters."
That was Saban's
Maybe.
worst loss. It still is ever.
Yes.
So,
man? That year was absolutely.
Stephen
year
A.
was
Smith
really
ranked
fun.
Alabama at 1,
That
2,
year
3, 4, and 5.
Was really fun.
That was yeah.
Yeah, that was a really fun.
Cotton Bowl was a good.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest. California was electric.
It was. That was,
California was fun. And then where'd we go? Dallas. Dallas was
Dallas.
fun, man. Dallas was
yeah.
fun. Dallas was fun.
I still get I'll still think about running down to the field for the Alabama game.
Oh yeah.
And that was the most hype I've ever seen
yeah.
a group of
And then
fans
we-
at one time.
Yeah, and then we put our passes on from the hotel, thinking
it's
no
yeah,
one.
we're
Right.
good, we're good,
Then
we're good.
all of us just charged. So
Yeah.
no
They
one.
couldn't get all of us. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
And they didn't try.
I saw where
Thankfully.
DeAndre Hopkins was standing beside us. I'm like, I'm following you. They ain't
Yeah.
stopping you.
He didn't need a pass. Yeah. No.
We got some cool picks on the field for that game. After that game,
Okay.
all three of us.
Oops. So yeah, I would like to say that probably does it about does it for college football for the week.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
I'm just saying I went 3-0 in my bets, so there's that.
I don't have my
NFL.
NFL.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Chiefs were the clear winner on Sunday. Most impressive win, I thought.
Yeah.
Yep.
I still think it's the Bills won in the AFC, but I think it's razor thin. I think just being
Well, I
2
mean, I
weeks
think
removed
that's
from the head-to-head.
Bills beat
Yeah,
the
right.
Chiefs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But I mean, the Chiefs
I mean, does
made
it?
a statement on Sunday.
I know. Yeah, but they still lost to the Bills the week prior.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I know that anything can happen in the NFL playoffs, whatever. But I mean, it seems like this year it's cut and dry, like Eagles, Bills / Chiefs.
It's not.
Right.
NFL is opposite of what college football is. Like,
Right.
The
What's
way
funny
the,
is
the
it
state
could
of the
very well
seasons.
flip in the next month.
I mean, outside of the Bengals last year.
No, I'm just saying this
Right.
year. This year we have no clue what's going on with college.
Oh,
NFL,
yeah,
it's-
yeah. This year it's we have 2 clear /
Yeah.
3 clear top echelon teams.
I don't, and you
Right.
can't really count the Giants at 6-1. They're not a good 6-1 team.
No.
No.
No. No. I don't know how they keep coming back in these games and winning, but I mean, credit to Brian Daboll and Saquon and Daniel Jones, the rest of them. But
Daboll. Yeah.
They are Kansas, is what they are.
Who's the MVP frontrunner right now?
Hurts.
Jalen?
Has to be.
Is it?
I mean, undefeated
Who else?
QB, the leaps he's made as a quarterback. I
Allen?
mean, that's
Josh Allen.
Mahomes?
it's
Right now, the odds are
Yeah.
Mahomes.
really.
No, it's Allen. Sorry, it's Allen.
I was about to say,
Where's Hurts?
Allen
Where's
plus
Hurts at?
Hurts is second, 50 points ahead of Mahomes. I mean, I think it's a 3-horse race.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Isn't it just incredible though that Hurts is in the race at all? Like going into the NFL.
I don't know. Like, he's had a solid progression every single year. I think there are a
Right.
lot of
Well,
guys.
no, I'm just
quarterback
saying
in college
back
either.
from his
He was also really good in college, and he was a second-round pick.
college.
He was a freshman that led it to a national, almost led to a national championship.
Based off of his college, like nobody thought he was gonna be a productive NFL quarterback. I didn't. I thought he.
I mean,
could throw the
once
ball.
again, BZ, he was a second-round pick. So somebody,
Productive is a pretty low bar, though.
right? Daniel Jones is productive.
Right. Taylor Heineke was productive on Sunday. That's not. I mean,
Right.
elite, sure. No one.
Right.
If you told them he's third best odds in the NFL, sitting undefeated halfway through his 4th season, then
Like
that's
people get
something.
on to. I mean, I don't think so as much, but people say that Lamar is a running back that plays quarterback. I don't think they'd say that as often now, but you definitely hear about how much he
'Cause
runs
won
the
MVP.
ball. Yeah, but like Hurts was in that same position for him. to
Jalen
be-
Hurts also was a better passer coming out of college,
Yeah.
though.
You think so?
Yes.
Lamar was drafted for his ability to do
To
damage
run.
on the ground.
Yes.
100%.
Yes,
That
Jalen
was
Hurts
the
proved that he
entire-
could pass at Oklahoma.
Right. He aired it out every
Yeah,
single
I'm
week
thinking
for
of
an
him
entire
at
year.
Bama.
Yeah, you're thinking of him, Bama, freshman year, like 3rd and 11. They're down by 4, and he has that like 15-yard gain because he
For
can't.
a
Yes.
touchdown. Yeah.
Exactly. That's.
I
who
still
I'm thinking
remember
of.
him running for that touchdown.
Right.
So he's just gotten
Yeah.
progressively better. But
Well, it
still-
helps when you have a weapon like AJ Brown. Like,
Devontae
That changed
Smith.
everything.
yeah.
or
That
Devontae
changed
Smith.
everything.
The
especially.
best
Devontae
offensive
Smith.
line in the league.
Dallas
Miles
Goddard at
Sanders
tight
off the
end,
back.
really
Dallas
solid.
Goddard tight end. That running back's not bad. What's his name?
Sanders.
Yeah.
Yeah, Miles Sanders. Got
Miles Sanders is-
Gainwell. the
So
rookie.
basically, any quarterback could be successful.
I mean, not
No.
any, but
Right, but the ones that would be
Probably
undefeated
20
is a
out of
very
30.
short list. No.
Well, that's
I'll tell you two quarterbacks that I know very well that would not do good up there. Baker
Tom Brady
Mayfield
and-
and Sam Darnold. I know that for sure.
like Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
so the Eagles are undefeated for real.
Yes.
Yeah.
They had a bye
Jalen
week,
Hurts has the 15th most passing yards in the league.
but they're probably the best rushing team in the NFL. So that doesn't. I mean, Cleveland probably, but
Right.
that doesn't
That's what I'm
surprise
saying.
How many rushing yards does he have?
Jalen Hurts.
Hurts.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. I think Chubb
Wow,
may
the-
still lead the league in yards.
Well,
NFC
Yeah, Chubb's the
South
least yards.
is
Barely.
absolutely horrible. We gonna talk about CMC getting traded?
Go ahead.
Eh.
Bailey
mean, I
had
don't-
his rant. We could
It
skip
was
it this
inevitable.
Sunday.
I think you got a good haul from it.
Yeah, we got a ton
it
of
is.
draft. So it came out Sunday. I know Grayson sent in the group, or one of us did, that Brian Burns was offered
Multiple
some
firsts?
contender offered
2 first
two-
round picks. Yeah.
Which,
Which
I
had
mean,
to be
if you're
filled.
gonna- Yeah, if you're gonna trade away McCaffrey for all that, and I know you don't want to completely get rid of all your talent, but
I mean, unless they're gonna pay Burns this
they
offseason.
have to. They have to pay him, Horn.
A lot of those defensive guys from that
Yeah.
defensive draft are coming up on paychecks.
And then I guess DJ Moore obviously finally showed up. So I mean,
Right.
a win's a win, but I'd much rather
Not
lose every
really.
game from here
Not
on
in-
out.
Not now. No.
Not in your-
morale,
A win is
No.
not a win in Bailey's position.
morale. It's good for the guys, but a win for
Yeah.
the
Who
fans. Is
cares?
like,
30 of those guys aren't
Yeah.
going to be there next year.
Right. When they pick 12th in the draft, the morale will not be worth it. But
Right.
I don't suspect they will be there.
Yeah, when you guys get Will Levis instead of CJ Stroud or Bryce Young.
oh,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be happy.
That will get the rest of the coaching staff fired if they
Right.
get Will Levis. I
Yeah.
guarantee you right
There's going to
now.
be a first round quarterback. I got to do my
Yeah, Matt
mock. I'll do my
Corral.
mock after tonight.
Right,
so I can-
3.0. There we go.
Yeah, 2.0. Yeah. I'm a mock.
Yeah.
king.
I mean, that win is not the greatest. Looking at how the way, good lord, looking the way Tampa's been playing, and like Is the divorce getting to him that much?
I mean, it wasn't quite Jags over the Bills last season, but to this
No,
point, it's the biggest upset, I think.
Tom Brady is what, 45?
Yeah.
He can't move. He has like 3 offensive linemen out. His receivers are hurt. He
And
doesn't
dropping
really have a
balls.
running back. I think the loss of Arians leaving, I think that was grossly understated at the time, thinking that everything was just going to go back to normal. So I think there's a lot of these things that compound. I don't believe that Tom Brady, the 7-time Super Bowl winner, the 45-year-old, is affected at all about what's happening on the outside.
No. It's
Like-
been happening before we knew about it for years, I'm sure.
Right. When he goes home, maybe he's like, damn. But like when he's at the facility, you think Tom Brady's thinking about Giselle?
Football,
He's literally
football,
the man in the
that's it.
arena.
Yeah. Okay, sure. I don't quite get that one.
The man in the arena.
Yeah, I mean, I get like what the man in the arena
Okay.
is, but how does that relate to?
I mean,
Tom?
he's a man in the arena. He's the
Yeah,
guy.
he's playing football. You're right.
Yeah. I mean, the Bucks 3-4, the Niners and Packers both lost as well Sunday. They're all 3-4. I mean,
Nobody in the
that
NFC is good, dude. You win
Yeah.
8 games in the NFC, you're probably in the playoffs.
I mean, the Niners and Bucks are probably the top 2 as far as NFC odds entering the season. I had Tampa in the Super Bowl, and they sit at 3-4 through 7 games. So
I just wanted to be known. If Tampa Bay gets their offensive line figured out, I still think they can be a really good team.
Yeah, Ryan Jensen at center back at any point would be massive for them.
Is he coming back this year?
I think he's going to aim for it. I think initially,
Yeah, if he comes back, that's huge. That's huge.
Right.
It changes everything for that offense and Tom Brady.
Yeah, if they're a wild card team, I would hate to play
Don't
them.
play them. Yeah,
I would hate
I
it.
agree. I
I
agree.
really would. That could be dangerous for the NFC
Yeah.
for sure.
That's a big if, though.
Oh, absolutely. No, I mean, again, they're 3-4. This is not. They're worried about just getting to 500, let alone playoffs. I mean,
Right.
This is,
And-
Dude,
I guess
500
that's-
is the playoffs this year.
Especially in the
Oh, you think?
NFC.
Yeah.
They're all terrible.
I think
That's
it'll
what I'm
take 9 or
saying.
10.
The Seahawks are leading the West.
Not including the division winners. And just going off second place teams, the NFC East 6-1 Giants. NFC West second place Rams 3-3. NFC North second place Packers 3-4. NFC South, by the way, the Bucks are still leading that division, and the Falcons at 3-4.
Yeah, but in 6 weeks we'll have a couple teams.
Agreed.
I mean-
But I'm saying, like, as it currently sits right now, I think if you're
Right now, yeah, 500 is
if you're,
literally
if
in.
you're 9-8, you're in. I think
Yeah.
if you're 9-8, you're in, especially with the expanded playoffs. That's kind of what I'm
The
going.
NFC East right now is getting 3 teams in.
Yes.
So,
I
and that's
forgot
3.
about that. Yeah.
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 How many teams are in the playoffs?
I think there's 3 wild cards.
Yeah.
There might be 4.
Okay. Current stands, it's the season ended right now. For the NFC, Philly won 6-0, Minnesota 5-1, Seattle 4-3. Tampa wins the division of the South at 3-4.
Right.
And then the Giants and Dallas 6-1 and 5-2. And then it comes in the Rams and then the 49ers 3-3 and 3-4.
Right.
I know those
Oh,
rankings
yeah,
will get
500
or
is
those,
in right now. Yeah.
and currently the Falcons are 9th. So there's that.
Right. I don't think the Falcons are going to play out this season. Like,
No.
No.
And who knows if Green Bay's going to turn it around either. I doubt it the way they are looking.
I think that's Minnesota's division to lose now.
the Vikings are the most nonchalant 5-1 team ever. Who did any of us pick the Vikings? Did I?
I
did.
think we all picked.
To win that
I think
division, I had the Vikings. Yeah.
I think I went Packers. I don't remember. We gotta pull those.
Somebody had Minnesota with me.
We got to
I
pull
know
those.
somebody
We got to
did.
pull it. BZ, pull those. BZ's our producer.
No, that'd be Grayson.
Yeah. I have no record. I'm sorry.
The Jets, breaking news, the Jets are acquiring Jaguars running back James Robinson.
Nuh-uh.
Whoa.
What?
Yep. Draft pick compensation going, but they're all in on Travis then.
Well,
Whoa.
I mean, yeah.
Weird.
Schefter just tweeted it.
I know.
You haven't traded
6th
for him
round?
yet.
They got him for a 6th?
Jags are stupid.
That could become a 5th?
He was an undrafted guy.
For 1 year?
Oh, he's a free agent after this year?
No, I'm just saying because
How about that?
Brees Hall's
Right.
only going to be out a year.
Yeah, but they're trying to win now.
Yeah.
Hang on.
It's
Hang on.
Huge.
Oh, he's a free agent after this year. So
Okay, so yeah, 1 year.
So it's a rental, which they only need him for a year.
it's a rental, and if a rental becomes a fifth round pick, way to go.
And a rental becomes what? Playoff?
What?
If that rental piece helps them to the playoffs, I mean.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah. Good
I
Lord.
mean, like, let's be honest. I like the teams that disvalue draft picks because you're trading for a guy you're giving up picks for.
See,
You know,
and
I don't know. I'm trying to formulate this.
no, I know what you're trying to say because that takes you back to what the Panthers are doing. You have guys already that you drafted them. You don't know if the guys that you're going to get for those picks.
No,
are
I know,
worth
but no. The Panthers are a different situation.
No, I'm just
because-
saying, like in general. Not, I
know,
don't
but
necessarily mean
But,
Panthers.
the Panthers, it gets Kentucky off the books, or it gets Christian McCaffrey off the books.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, if you're the Packers right now, why do you care about a first round pick in 2024? Get up the first round pick. Go all in. Aaron Rodgers has like 2 years. Clearly, Jared
Jordan Love
is not the guy. So you're gonna have to redo another quarterback.
You know who realized this and just won a title? The Rams.
The Rams.
They might
and
have
it
a
worked.
pick until 2042.
And who cares
And it
if you
worked.
get an elite
And it
talent
worked.
for a first round pick or even 2 first round picks? If you
And
have
it
2
worked,
first round picks and you trade for Jalen Ramsey, if one of those 2 first round picks, if one of your 4 first round picks within 4 consecutive years turns into Jalen Ramsey, you're happy. So why not give up 2 of them for like 7 years of Jalen Ramsey? It's if you have a quarterback, you should be in win now mode. Trade all of your first round picks. Who cares? Trade all of them.
The flip side of that is Jamal Adams in Seattle. That's how poorly that could go for you.
The flip side is don't trade a first round for a non-premium position. I'm not talking about for a safety. What safety
Right, but-
changes the game? A lockdown corner gets the side. A lockdown D-line gets after the quarterback. QB, wide receiver, D-line, and corner in the very weird situations such as a talent like Jalen Ramsey. Like Jamal Adams was a good player, but he's never
Right.
been in the conversation.
That was a
of, like,
mistake at the time. I'm just saying.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
That's how that could
The
go.
cornerback
poorly.
has to be, like you said, Jalen Ramsey or like a Darrell Revis or like the
Or
ones
offensive
that you know
tackle.
are
Yeah,
locked. Yeah.
they're the best ever. That's what I'm saying.
One that
This-
can literally lock down a whole side of the field and know nothing's going to go on that
Right.
side.
This kind of goes back to what I was trying to articulate the other day in the group message of, like, if you have a first round pick, you should never draft anything other than quarterback, now wide receiver, kind of, but like this draft class, I wouldn't waste a first round pick. But like quarterback, offensive tackle, edge rusher, and corner. Like that's you shouldn't
Yeah,
waste
that's-
you shouldn't waste, and unless, like I said, unless it's that elite talent of a wide receiver like a Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson,
Devontae.
Devontae Smith. Sure, yeah, okay, he won the Heisman, yeah.
And like with running backs, I mean, running backs are getting more running back by committee now. Like,
I think that the first round running back that we're long past drafting the
yeah,
first round.
McCaffrey was
Melvin
probably
Gordon
the last
ended
first
that.
round.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can kind of say unless they're a Christian McCaffrey type where they're
Yeah.
going to get 30 touches a game, not running the ball, like they can come out of the backfield. Travis is kind of like that same type of mold where you knew that his body type, you can put him in the slot, you can do some things, but like look at how that Najee Harris pick's looking now. They just get hurt,
Yeah.
you know, like
They don't have enough
True's-
around him at all. Yeah.
Right. But well, yeah, they get hurt. Like he had that plate in his foot for 6 months or 6 weeks, and you know you just can't do it. And then you get James Robinson off the street. Breece Hall was a second round back, but the problem is we all knew Breece Hall was a good player. Like we saw him in college.
Yeah,
Right.
But
It's
he
clear.
still isn't
Yeah.
worth a first round pick. So that's
So
why
only edge rushers, QBs, tackles. That's it.
Yeah.
That should
That's
be
the
the
most
first
important
30.
Well, because
elite wide receivers and corners. Those because
offensive tackles are like the second highest paid on the team. So like,
you should only draft to who is the highest paid in a league because the upside is that much more on a 5-year deal. Because like if you draft a linebacker and he becomes a first round pick or he becomes like elite, you're paying him what, $11 million a year compared to $6 his rookie deal.
Like Trayvon Walker. Yeah.
Boom, exactly.
Michael Parsons, yeah.
Micah Parsons like edge rusher ish.
Edge rusher line.
He's a linebacker
See, that's the
the same
Yeah.
the same way TJ Watt's a linebacker.
Yeah. The whole considering what is a edge rusher and a linebacker, outside linebacker, like
I mean, if you're if you're a 3-4, like edge rusher, linebacker, kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
None of them, no outside linebacker in a 3-4 scheme is like going and covering like a slot receiver, you know.
Yeah.
So,
and like, that makes me think of like someone like a Vic Beasley who was a stud DN in college and it was like outside
he's
linebacker.
an outside linebacker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same kind of deal.
Yeah.
What's he doing these days?
Nothing.
Living at home.
He's not on the team at all.
He hasn't been on a team for like a couple years.
Him,
Really?
Dodd, like
I don't think
Grady's
Dodd
Jarrett-
did out of his rookie year.
Cleveland might be on that way. I don't know what he's done this year.
Not good stuff.
Yeah.
What's his name? Vic Beasley hasn't been in the league since 2020.
Wow,
Yeah.
man.
So
Yeah.
other games, Titans beat a very terrible Colts team who Matt Ryan is donezo.
No, or the quarterback. Yeah, that's a snoozer for me. I don't really care.
Sam Ehlinger.
I guess I do care. I think the Colts, they're intentionally trying to lose now because they've been stuck in quarterback purgatory, quarterback hell for years now. Just tank. Like
With Taylor, it's impossible.
with who?
With Jonathan Taylor healthy,
But he's not
Right.
doing anything this year.
Well, he's been hurt, but I'm just saying, just
Right.
hold Jonathan Taylor out. Give him 5 touches a year, and then draft, trade up, and get a Bryce Young. Trade up, like if you have the 9th pick, and then let's say the Lions have the 3rd pick, right? Give them your first this year, your first next year, and like your second in 24, and go get Bryce Young, and like maybe the Lions actually think Jared Goff's their guy. I mean, obviously I don't, but damn,
they would keep 3 if they had it.
Right.
This QB draft, they're gonna.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but like even if I don't know, do you believe in Will Levis? If Will Levis is there, get him. Do you believe in Hendon Hooker? He's probably he's 25, going to be 26. You could say he's the most pro ready right
be
now.
like Kenny Pickett.
Hendon Hooker and Kenny Pickett, I think, are very similar, like in terms of their
They've been in college forever.
There's probably not that much upside. There's
Yeah.
no Patrick Mahomes. There's no Josh Allen upside at all.
No.
Like what you see is what you're going to get. But they could become solid starters, and especially with Jonathan Taylor, Najee Himes, the receivers, Naheem, whatever. They could become a good team, you know.
Yeah. It's just they have Matt Ryan. I mean, they've gone through about retired quarterback to about retired quarterback to about retired quarterback.
Here's the problem, though. Here's the problem. What's the last team that hasn't won with an elite quarterback? So
Jimmy G and the Niners.
They
won
didn't win
Super
at all.
Bowl. Won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, they were 5
So-
minutes away.
What?
Ravens?
Joe Flacco was elite during that period.
He was,
That's
yeah.
fair.
I mean, it's probably the Eagles with Nick Foles, but Nick Foles was playing out of his mind that year. Like he was playing like an elite quarterback.
Well, and Carson Wentz got him through a good
Carson
bit of the
Wentz
year.
was also playing like an elite quarterback that
He was
year.
an MVP
Probably going to
contender,
win MVP, yeah. But, like, if you're – I mean, this little draft talk's probably too early, but you know me, I'm a mock draft guy now. You should only draft guys now that you think can be elite. Like, that's why Will Levis is going to go in the top 10. Because he's 6'4" and can throw a ball 75 yards. It's not because he's amazing right now, but because
Right.
people are like, oh, he could be Josh Allen. And Josh Allen can win you a Super Bowl. So –
Yeah, and that might happen this year. So, yeah.
right, exactly. And
Who's
so, I
the
mean, if you're the
quarterback?
Colts, that's how you have to pick. That's how you have to pick.
Why are you not the GM of every single NFL team, man?
This is a podcast. I'm probably going to be incredibly wrong, but you have to say it like you know it.
I guess.
I mean,
the
Mike
last-
Mayock pretended to know for 5 years. So.
And he whipped his way into a GM spot.
He sure did.
I guess the last Super Bowl winner to have not a non-elite quarterback might have been Tampa in 2003,
Woo! Really?
and that was Brad Johnson.
I mean, I'm still going to say, I mean, like, if I'm playing devil's advocate, Nick Foles, I'm going to say Nick Foles.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Off
he's
name
not-
alone, it's Foles, easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But based off how
But-
he was
and-
playing that year, it's not Nick Foles. But
'Cause-
name alone.
Peyton Manning
Yeah.
in his Super Bowl, he was at the very end of his career. I mean, he
But
literally
he's-
retired
but
after the
that's
game.
still-
Yeah, that
an
was the
elite
defense, but yeah. But
He didn't get benched that year. I mean, it was.
No, he was just hurt.
Oh.
That was
All right,
6 years ago.
So I'm looking at the Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, right?
Yeah. It's either Tom Brady, Big
The only
Ben.
guys that have won a Super Bowl and aren't Heisman or aren't MVP, Jim Plunkett, but he won the MVP that year. So, Joe Theismann, all-time name. So, Jim McMahon, whatever. Phil Simms, MVP. Doug Williams, MVP. Trent Dilfer, probably not elite. We can say that. Brad Johnson, you're right, probably not elite. But after that, since Brad Johnson, which
Breeze.
it's Brady, Roethlisberger, Hall of Famer, whatever you want to say about his whole, personal life. Peyton Manning, Hall of Famer. Eli Manning,
not
probably a Hall of Famer. I don't think he's first ballot.
I'd say Hall of Famer.
Probably a Hall of Famer.
He's a Hall of Famer.
He did
won
do it
2
twice,
Super Bowls.
to be fair. So.
He did do it twice. Drew Brees, Hall of Famer. Aaron Rodgers, Hall of Famer. Joe Flacco.
Not Hall of Famer.
No.
Joe Flacco is a quarterback.
He's not Hall of Fame.
Hang on, I'm trying to. I need to see if I can back up this argument. All right, he won it in 2012, right? So in 2012. Oh, dude, he had a stretch. He passed for 3,600, 3,600, 3,600, 3,800, 3,900, 3,900. He got hurt 4,300, and then he fell off. So, for that period of time, he was really, really good.
Wow, he was from 09 till 16.
Russell Wilson.
Not looking great anymore.
I don't know about that. Yeah.
But he's been solid for how long? He's been top for how long?
Yeah, but
has he though?
Has it been all the people?
Okay, hey, shout out you guys. You guys are coming on my side. I have said for a while now that Russell Wilson not good.
He's playing his way out of it quickly.
Have you guys seen all that stuff about how Russell Wilson can't see over the middle?
No. I believe it the way I watch their games, and he doesn't.
Yeah, if you look at the charts in terms of percentage of he throws to the middle of the field, it's not
bad
because he can't. And people will back it up by video. They'll be like, "Here's the tight end right in the middle of the field." But he can't see him because the right guard is standing up trying to block somebody, and there is no one around him.
Or something against the Colts or whoever it was.
Hamler, KJ Hamler, or
whoever was wide open.
Oh yeah.
And
that was
in the
probably
Super Bowl,
PTSD.
he might have thought that guy was wide open too.
It's just they should.
He was wide open. I don't see a defender.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was only his second year at Seattle, or second year in the NFL period.
Yeah.
I did not realize that.
Yeah. I mean, he was a game manager. He was.
Yeah.
I mean, they had Lynch.
Good deep ball.
He had Matt Flynn to beat out. That was
Lynch and probably one of the best defenses ever.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, I've always felt like
Legion
he's
of Boom.
I mean, we say he's a game manager, but his rookie year, he finished third in offensive rookie of the year. And then his second year, when he won the Super Bowl, he was a Pro Bowler and he was fourth in offensive player of the year.
He's never had less
MVP
than
vote.
3,000 passing yards.
until this year.
Yeah, that's true.
Until this year, but we're not even.
I mean, he's
halfway
already
through.
he's already played 6 games. He's already at 1,500. So
Yeah, he'll get
Oh
it
wow.
this year
Okay,
too.
never mind.
The math is there, especially with that extra game.
yeah.
He's 106 and 57 overall.
By the way, in a 16-game season, 3,000 yards is 187 yards a game. Which is that the bar? Is that the bar?
That's a low
No.
bar.
I mean, he's hit
that's the
4,000.
bar for Justin Fields.
That's pretty much the Mendoza line.
Bar
is
for
what that
just is it the Bears that have never had a 4,000-yard passer?
Probably.
I'd say so.
I believe it.
Chicago Bears do not have a 4,000-yard passer in a 16-game season.
Impressive.
That's
And Wilson's done that 4 times.
4,000 yards.
Yes.
Yeah, Justin Fields this year through 6 games has 869 yards, so I don't think he's going to get there.
Not quite. No.
No.
Oh my gosh. That's not good.
I mean, dude, if the Bears finish the problem is they beat some teams at the beginning of the year. If the Bears finish top 10 pick and the quarterback's there that you like, should they?
They traded up for Mitch. I don't know why they wouldn't this year.
I mean, I call whatever you want with Kyler Murray, but it worked for the Cardinals. Josh Rosen was not the guy.
Right.
And Kyler Murray
Fields.
is the guy. I don't know.
He has
Maybe.
to be.
He's
Way
paid
they
like
pay
he
him.
is.
Yeah.
You think Fields has a slot anywhere? in the country? Just Chicago's not the team for him. Do you think could fit
Does he
anywhere?
fit in elsewhere? Nowhere.
Yeah.
As a starter? Nowhere.
He's the backup QB in Chicago till his contract expires, and then maybe
And people
some
are
other
trying
team
to
takes a
compare
flyer
him
on
and Trevor, man.
They shouldn't.
I mean, they only compared him coming out of high school.
And college.
Eh.
I mean, not as much so.
Shouldn't
Like
have.
Trevor
John
was
have.
always the number one, but
Yeah, Justin went 12th. I don't think there was like
Was
that much
it?
of a comparison.
I thought it was closer than that.
Oh.
No.
Draft
Okay.
position? No.
11th. Went 11th overall.
When Fields
Okay.
beat Trevor, people brought it up, but it was not ever based in anything.
It wasn't targeting.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
BC doesn't even know what we're talking about.
I think I did.
Well, what a Clemson
he
game.
said-
Actually,
but he
it
said-
was a Clemson game. You should know.
It was Clemson. BC?
Big Clemson guy.
Clemson versus Ohio State. The only thing I'm thinking of is freaking what's that defensive end name? I can't think of his name. Chase Young, where he did get a targeting on Trevor. Is that what y'all are talking about?
Nope. See, he doesn't know what we're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't think.
Moving on. All right, let's go quick. I mean, we're at an hour and a half. Our viewers don't want to hear this.
I'm about to head off, boys.
Oh, we had baseball on the list.
We got off
Okay.
Clemson. Basie's like, nope, screw this.
Well, we've been talking NFL for like 30 minutes.
As we
We
should.
talked college for an hour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, as we should. Real quick, BZ, Phillies Padres World Series. Who you got?
I got
Phillies.
Phillies.
How many games?
Phillies.
Uh,
Astros. You mean? You said Padres.
You did say
Whatever.
Padres.
Phillies Astros. Who do you got, BZ? You still got the
That was
Phillies?
a test.
Phillies in 5.
Who's your MVP?
Yeah, who's your MVP of the World Series?
Name one guy on the Phillies.
Yeah, no, that's a great question there.
Yeah, this
No,
is
it's a
can
good
you name a guy on the Phillies segment?
Say Manny Machado.
Who's on the Phillies for real?
Manny
Manny
Machado,
Machado.
Mookie Betts.
We'll go Harper.
You Googled it. That's
All right.
the
I
right
should have
choice.
known that though. Bryce Harper.
right choice.
How old is he?
31.
Okay. Well, if y'all are gonna talk about baseball, I am headed out. So.
All right.
Yeah, we
Appreciate it,
appreciate
BZ,
it.
as always.
Next week, BZ. Get back on.
Alrighty.
Check your fantasy team.
Yeah,
I
check
need
your
to-
fantasy basketball team.
I need to keep
That's
up with that. Yes. All right. See y'all.
So, yeah.
But
All right. Bailey, same thing. World Series.
I'm going Houston in 5.
MVP.
What's his face?
All right, BZ.
No,
Anya?
no,
Alvarez, Bregman, Verlander,
Yeah,
Fromber.
Alvarez.
What do you think, Jacob?
I couldn't think of his name for some
I mean, I
reason.
got Houston at 6, and I think it's going to be Bregman.
Ooh, I like that one.
I'll go Houston in 6. I think Verlander somehow pitches twice and they give it to him just because.
I don't think he's lined up.
Is he not? They don't start till
Did he
Friday.
pitch game 5?
Oh, they don't start till Friday?
Yeah, game 1's Friday night.
Oh, yeah, he pitches
Yeah.
game 1.
Yeah. Same.
I mean, I'll talk a little bit on it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't see how this is a series other than vibes.
Yeah.
You know,
It's all about momentum versus
Philly's hot, that's
proven.
about it.
at least like last year with the Braves Astros, like people thought the Braves were going to win, right? They thought, okay,
Yeah.
you know, their players are playing. The problem is like you go off like names, like who has more names? It's probably the Phillies.
Oh, yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
Their bullpen's
Noah
playing
Wheeler.
up to a level they never have before with Sir Anthony Dominguez, all-time name, and the fat that does that thing with the mound every single time. That
Jesse
makes
Chavez?
no. Shut up! Don't
Hey,
ever talk about him again.
Legend.
Who's that guy for the Phillies?
Hot
The
Ranger
fat-
Suarez.
Jose
in the
Alvarado.
bullpen.
Jose Alvarado.
That might be.
NBA guy. That's
So the bullpen's playing up. Harper is on a streak. If
that
the
eighth inning
Phillies,
home run was incredible.
if
Yeah.
the Phillies
Yeah.
win, Harper's gonna have 3 home runs in the series and have a 1,300 OPS while batting like 360 throughout the whole series.
And
That's the only way I
5
think they can win.
walks.
I think Reese Hoskins had 4 hits in the LCS and they all went out.
Yes, yeah. Reese Hoskins is, I think, the worst first baseman in the entire league. Because he can't.
Schwarber's been hitting well
Schwarber, if Schwarber can, Schwarber's a big time player. You know
The
what I mean?
timely
If he can
home
go
runs had to
480
continue, just like Atlanta did.
If he can go 480 each time, he'll be fine.
Yes, I would too.
I'm not surprised we're unanimous in Houston though.
Yeah. I mean, it's the right pick. It is. Yeah. Unless you want to go off vibes, Houston is the correct pick.
Right.
Thank you.
LCS wise, the Yankees lose the 5th straight. ALCS series.
Yankees lose.
That has never been done in the history of baseball. So
What? What has it?
5 straight LCS losses.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
They made it that far.
Right.
Talk about a disappointing decade.
Yeah, their last title was 2009. So this is
A-Rod.
and they beat the Phillies. So
Out of his mind.
lost a chance for that rematch, but
Does the MVP stay?
We'll get into that in a second. Hang on.
Yeah.
I got more things to say. What are the odds this is like the lowest rated series in
I hate
Why?
it, but I think it's I really
don't wanna
really
be like-
hate it.
I don't want to be the ratings guy, but I do love ratings, and I don't
I think there's fatigue with Houston, the cheating stuff, and then Philly.
Well, no. I would say this. I think the cheating stuff played into their favor like last year. But I think
hate
now,
watching.
like hate watching.
Okay.
Now no one cares. Everyone's like, it's over.
They're actually
Right.
good.
So if
They
there's no
made it to
hate
World
watching,
Series.
do they draw enough?
No, and Houston especially does not draw enough.
So,
No.
hey, but here's the thing. The Astros have never beat an NL East team in the World Series.
Yeah, I don't care about those weird
Well,
stats.
they're 0 for 1, but yeah.
0 for 2. Nationals.
For 2 Nationals, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Howie Kendrick and the Nationals, yeah.
Yes, Howie Kendrick, the most notable National.
So going back to your statement about least watch, I mean, looking back, do you think Tampa or the Dodgers and Tampa was a highly watched World Series? It was a
Dodgers.
COVID year.
Dodgers.
Mets Royals from a while ago. That's
Don't
probably.
hate on
I mean,
the
like,
Royals.
when I say worst, I mean just like bad rankings. I don't know if it's going to be the worst ratings or not.
Historically, probably not the worst.
Probably not
but-
going to be. I'm just saying it's not going to be like last year. It's not going to be good.
Oh no, it will not be higher than last year.
It's because the Braves there's such a wider space between their fans and the next team. Philly, you're right there within you got Pittsburgh, you got New York, you got the Bostons, you got the Washingtons, the Baltimores. Like the Braves, there's 6 states before the next team, excluding Florida. But
And all 40 teams aren't great.
Yeah.
Well, Tampa, but I mean, still.
I feel like this playoffs went quick.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, I mean there's been a lot of blowouts. There hasn't been a 7-game series.
The
Yeah.
Yankees Guardians went 5. That's the only one.
Has there been a
thing that's
6-game
had a do or
series?
die.
Oh wait, I mean the only 7 games are the CS.
Right.
But-
no, there was 1 loss total by the winning teams in the LCS. So,
Braves,
yeah.
Phillies were 4. Dodgers, Padres were 4.
Yankees
Indians-
Guardians went 5. That
yeah.
was it.
Oh,
Winner take all series.
That was the only winner take all game so far.
Honestly,
Yeah.
once the Braves lost, I have not watched much.
I haven't either.
I don't
I've
care.
cut into Padres Phillies because of how those games have ended, but other than
Yeah.
that, it hasn't been much.
My dad will
The
have it
problem
on
is
for background. I'll watch.
MLB is stupid and likes to.
Play at
hate
4:00 in the
Yeah.
afternoon.
Yeah, I just MLB.
Yeah, I
likes to
think if
shoot.
you're going to give teams home field next year, I don't know about 107 first pitches. That doesn't really count for any kind of advantage on a Tuesday, especially.
Yeah.
But yeah, so World Series, like we said, starts Friday. We should have an update next week. NBA very, very quickly.
Yes,
the
please.
Jazz and the Blazers are both 3-0, and the Sixers and the Lakers are 0-3. So if you had that preseason, then you are a liar because the Jazz were expected to go 2-80, and they've already won 3 straight games. Zion looks incredible. Pelicans look great. Him and Brandon Ingram are already injured, though. Should be fine, but day to day. Your guy, Jacob
Who?
Mitchell, the newest Cavalier.
Oh, do I have him on my team?
Donovan Mitchell. Actually, I have no idea.
You
You
just
have
have
his
a
jersey,
jersey
though.
of him.
I do have his jersey. Yes, thank you.
They're 2-1. Look fine. Garland got hurt in the opener. They did drop that to Toronto, but they're 2-1. They're gonna be great, I think. The Thunder are 0-3, but 2-1 against the spread, which is all that matters. And then
Facts.
me and Bailey started 1-0 in our 14 fantasy basketball league. Bailey won by
Hey.
500. I think I won by like 15. So
You're skipping over the fact that the Hornets are 2-1. Don't hate
I
on
am, because I'll give them credit. The terrible
I didn't even
offseason
know
they
that.
had, they needed a ray of hope. LaMelo Ball has not played yet, so it's even more impressive. Bailey's Kings are 0-3. That's a stunner. But yeah, shout out to Charlotte for going through hell in the offseason, and they've got a little bit of hope. But I don't know if that necessarily continues. TNT tomorrow night, which is, this won't come out until tomorrow, but Mavericks, Pelicans, and then Warriors, Suns on TNT. That should be a great pair of games. I'll probably be watching Clippers, Thunder because. Great games tonight. Won't matter. You won't hear this until after they're gone. So, anything from either of you two on NBA so far?
Not really.
Nope.
Yeah,
Welcome
I don't know.
day with
I'm gonna
NBA
start writing
because I suck.
daily once we get a couple more games in, and then if I have picks, I'll put them in, and I'll obviously add Bailey's or anybody else's. But you guys got anything else for this week?
Bears Patriots. Who we got tonight?
The under, and the biggest losers will be everyone who watches it.
I have the Bears if Mac Jones plays, and the Patriots if Zappy plays.
Actually, I love that. Give me that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spread's 8.5.
Oh, shit!
That's also the over/under for how many minutes I watch. So
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be watching much of this one.
no, we've got Celtics, Bulls, Raptors, Heat, Nets, Grizzlies tonight in the NBA. That's all much better watching wise. So
Nah.
Yeah. Now comes the dead period. Once we get the action and all that with Tuesday, Wednesdays, I'll be fine. But give me some better Monday Night Football.
yeah,
I'm going to be honest. I don't care about Maction at all.
Hey, football's football.
it's football. But yeah, so that's it for this week. We appreciate you guys sticking around. A little bit of a longer episode. We're probably pushing 90 minutes post edit, but yeah,
Bangers.
we're on Twitter
Bangers
at the
on.
1009. Spotify, Apple, if you're listening, keep on doing it. We appreciate it. YouTube, the 1009 podcast as well.
Oh.
And then, yeah, I think that's all we got.
Before we go, guess what was 7 years ago today?
Hang on. I don't know.
Something Monday Night Football related? Because
Now, something World Series related.
No, it was Georgia Tech's field goal return against Florida State.
How could I have forgotten that? The infamous October 24th.
Also, I saw the Manning cast for tonight was Bill Burr, Rick Vaughn, and Barack Obama. Those are the guests.
Who is Rick Vaughn? Charlie Sheen?
No,
Who's Rick Vaughn?
the actor,
he's in
Step Brother, or no,
Wow.
Wedding Crashers.
yeah.
Ricky Vaughn is in Major League.
Rick.
Rick Vaughn is Major League. Vince Vaughn?
Vince Vaughn. I don't know. I was thinking
Bailey.
Rick.
I was like, what are you doing?
Grayson, you agree with me.
Yeah, you did agree with him.
I was racking my brain like, what the hell is he in? Whatever.
You know who I was talking about, though. That's the thing. Great.
All right, good
ending to the
episode, boys.
podcast.
Subscribe.